Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome. Welcome back, or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos, simply take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. I've had the most incredible experience that I am going to try to explain to you all here in a video. Working with spirit, there are many times it's almost hard to translate what it feels like. You know what they're showing me. Sometimes I struggle with finding the words to explain the spirit dimensions, especially dimensions where our loved ones who have passed are. They are profound teachers. Spirit is relentless in teaching. They work really hard, and I've had a magical journey of learning. Now, on Friday, January 13th, I did a platform mediumship event. I love taking the platform. Platform mediumship is a group reading event. I've done groups as like small family groups, gatherings of friends, and I've done groups as big as 350 people. And it is a wonderful experience to be able to work with spirit that way. It is extremely draining. I have learned so much about energy and how to tap into the spirit dimensions and use the energy in the spirit dimensions rather than using my own energy. But even with years and years of practice with the platform, I usually leave the platform feeling very almost like a hangover. I feel beyond exhausted. I'm drained for several days. It takes a lot out of me to work in that frequency. Now, the reason that it's a little bit tougher is when I'm working with an audience. So the audience that I worked with on January 13th was at a lovely bakery in Cambridge, Ontario called Sugar Daddies. There were 30 people in the audience, which is a really nice size. A lot of messages can be given out when, with an audience of 30 versus an audience of 300. So there was an opportunity to have an intimate evening of spirit with that size of a group. So if you can just imagine for a moment, I'm looking at 30 people in the physical world, 30 living people, and around me is at least a minimum of 300 spirits from the spirit dimensions, waiting to communicate or helping support the event. So I'm tapping into two dimensions all the time, which is why platform mediumship can be very exhausting for a medium because they're working in two different worlds. Now, I'm going to just backtrack a story a little bit because it's very relevant to the next part of what I'm about to share with you. Several years ago, I did a Facebook Live, and I channeled a young man who passed away several years ago, tragically. His name was Mike. And I was channeling a lot of evidential mediumship, and he was trying to reach out to his sister, who was not on the Facebook Live. Now, his sister's name is Kim. Now, Kim had a friend who happened to be watching, and her friend reached out and said to her, "You're not going to believe what I'm watching. I'm positive that this medium on Facebook Live is channeling your brother." So Kim went in, watched the Facebook Live. 100% I was channeling her brother, and that was the beginning of a beautiful friendship between Kim and I. Now, Kim also had her father in the spirit dimensions who has passed away as well. Kim's deceased loved ones have been working with me ever since that Facebook Live to help teach me different things at different times on my learning adventure with spirit. They have hung around and become my teachers at a few different levels. And they do come and go. Sometimes I won't see them for a little bit and a new teacher comes in. But they have been teaching me for quite a number of years. Now, Kim and I had an instant connection. She is an incredible friend. She is also my admin here at the Hawk and I. She is an incredible support person. I could not manage the business end of the Hawk and I without her. And our partnership and our relationship, I'm telling you right now, we definitely have a soul-to-soul connection. We definitely have a beautiful soul contract together. And she's family. There's no other word to describe the relationship. She has become family. And it is a beautiful experience to have both her deceased loved ones helping me and her helping me. It's been an amazing, amazing journey. Now, Friday the 13th, January the 13th, was a very significant date for Kim. It was the anniversary of her brother's passing. Now, she asked her brother to show up and be with her at the event. She didn't ask for a reading from me. She just simply said, "You know what, Mike, can you come to the event and connect?" So, interestingly enough, I did not know any of this. I arrived at the venue. We were getting set up. Kim came in, and I walked up to Kim and just kind of reviewed my plans for the evening. I need a sign from her to let me know that I'm running out of time. So right around the half-hour mark before the event is about to end, I just looked at her and I said, "Kim, when the event is over, can you just give me a sign?" And I made a motion with my hand. I had never asked her for that sign before. Usually I just go, this is usually my time sign for Kim at an event so that I know I'm running out of time. But I was pulled to just simply go, just let me know this when I'm running out of time. And Kim looked at me and she said, "Why did you do that?" And I said, "I don't know. That's just, I need a sign when I'm running out of time. So if you could just please do that." And she said, "That's very symbolic to my brother. That is a sign between me and my brother." And she said, "I asked him to come here and he's here." Now, we thought that was the end of it. She asked her brother to come. I just simply made a hand motion that meant something very dear to Kim that I had no knowledge of, and she was satisfied. She was like, "Oh, that is wonderful. I know he's here." The event starts, and it felt different from the beginning. So during the day of an event, I usually feel quite calm. I usually feel like I need to just sit and meditate. I usually feel like there's this peaceful state kind of overcomes me. Spirit usually starts coming in. I usually start feeling them. They usually give me information that they want me to know ahead of time. Quite often they will ask me to bring something to the event that they want to give a loved one. But it's usually a very calming feeling. This event had a very different feeling during the day for me. I was way up here. I was buzzing around. I was like, overstimulated is the best way to put it. I just felt very, 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 very hyper. Kim felt the opposite. Usually, she's a little hyper. She felt kind of flat. She's like, "I feel kind of flat," and I'm like, "That's really interesting because that's usually how I kind of feel, kind of calm." And it felt to me like there was almost a bit of a role switching there. It was kind of odd. This is really odd. So I take the platform. And the spirit dimensions, when I tap into them, so I just kind of like lean into the spirit dimensions and I just simply open and allow, and spirit usually starts channeling. When I leaned into the spirit dimensions, I felt very different. I had a moment where I was disorientated. I usually do not feel disorientated in the spirit dimensions. And suddenly I was aware that I was standing in a tube, a tunnel. I felt like I was in this tunnel. And I was able to kind of float around at first in the spirit dimensions, in this tunnel. And I thought, oh, this feels kind of interesting. The more I started to channel, the more I started to connect, I began to feel Kim's brother. And he was just kind of observing me inside my tunnel. I had a deeper knowing of where I was supposed to go energetically with living people to bring them in their deceased loved one. Usually I can kind of zone into an area. Okay, I feel like I'm channeling a dad in this area of the room, but if it pulls over here, please let me know. I had this incredible notion of exactly where. Boom. I also felt the spirit dimensions closer to me than I ever felt before. Now, this went on for, probably a good 30-40 minutes where I was like adjusting to this tunnel. And I felt that the tunnel was moving. The tunnel seemed to be moving further and further into the spirit dimensions. The more comfortable I got with working this way with spirit, the deeper I went in. Then spirit thought, well, now's a really good time to add something to the tunnel. I suddenly felt like I was sitting on something that I had to balance myself on. I felt like I was like straddled over a tube that I had to learn to balance myself on. And if I leaned too far over, I felt like I was going to fall, which was very, very new. I'd never felt like that before working in a platform event. I've never felt that before working with spirit. Now, I just simply learned to kind of manage where the balance is. Now, in the physical world, I have terrible balance. I can't stand on one foot for more than 5 seconds. Balance is not my thing physically. And energetically, I'm really good at balancing energy, right? I'm really good at balancing my spiritual self, and I'm really good at balancing energy. But to navigate through channeling, kind of learning to balance and floating deeper and deeper into the spirit dimensions, then the messages became deeper. The validation became deeper. And I leaned too far in at one point, and I literally was not aware of the physical world while I'm talking. Now, I was holding a microphone to a member of the audience, and I was struggling to hold it up. I literally was struggling to feel my own physical body. So Kim lovingly came in behind me very gently and just put her hand on my back and offered to help me with the microphone. When she put her hand on my back, it was almost like this startle back to the physical world, and I felt like I was falling off of this tube that I was sitting on, and I literally felt like I was dropping the microphone, and I literally had to bring myself back up, and there was this pause where and I remember looking around. I remember looking around the audience, and it was like I was looking at the physical world through the lenses of the spirit dimensions. And I literally paused for a moment and thought, oh my goodness, like I can't even describe what it was like. I was in the spirit dimensions looking out at the physical world. Usually at a platform mediumship event, I usually bounce back and forth. I usually go into the spirit dimensions. I have I have a loved one here. This is the names and the dates and the validation, and then I come back to the physical world and I give it. And that's why I'm normally extremely tired, because it's in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. This time Spirit said, let's just leave you in the spirit dimensions and let's just let you drift in this tunnel. It was now, what do I think the tunnel was? So and I'm still learning about this whole process of what they're trying to teach me. And perhaps I won't know more until I do another platform mediumship event. But I felt like the tunnel, because I'm physical, I'm not deceased, I felt like the tunnel was similar to like a vehicle to help navigate me and kind of bring my physical body more and more into the spirit dimensions. Why this balance? So why the tube that I felt like I was sitting on? I really felt that one thing that Spirit is trying to take me on to a deeper level with my mediumship, especially with the platform, is to simply be able to keep that point of center. And I think for many mediums, not just myself, but even with some of my students, as I reflect back on how some of my students are working, Spirit is so right. We teeter-totter in and out as mediums, in and out of the physical world, back into the spirit dimensions. And this was more of a center of gravity balance in between the two dimensions. It was like, I'm still learning about it. I'm still trying to process it all, but it was absolutely incredible to be able to like drift. It's almost like I was drifting, just kind of drifting deeper into the spirit dimensions, and more of that fluid feeling, more of that. It was more allowing. It was more of not thinking with my physical brain. Okay, now I got information from the spirit dimensions. Now I got to come back to the physical world and relay it. Now I got to go back in. It was less juggling for me. However, because it was so new, it was also very, very disorientating. Very disorientating. And I am looking forward to learning a little bit more about how I'm going to drift further into the spirit dimensions, and kind of have a new balance with the platform. And it will probably lean into my one-on-one sessions as well. Thanks for listening. I really wanted to share this experience with you all, because I know a lot of you have a lot of curiosity about the spirit dimensions and how I work. So I do hope that you enjoyed hearing my experience. As always, love, light, blessings, and a spirit-guided day.